fourth century from the Indian boys out there right now.
Well, absolutely. When you look at the score, I welcome Noel David on the show, the former Indian off spinner, of course, now the current coach of the Assam junior team. He keeps on coaching young kids. But welcome to the show, Noel David. Noel, do you think it was a great departure, or do you think they've just continued the batters from where they had left in the IPL? It looked like an IPL team. They were scoring, they were hitting, there were slog sweeps, there were cut edges, and everything went to the boundary. Were you happy to see that? Is this the new norm?
Absolutely. It was a treat to watch this guys batting, Sometimes, you take it back and say, yeah, is this test match or is it still IPL continuing? The way, if you remember the shot what Rishabh Pant played, very second ball of Ben Stokes stepping out, hitting him over the head, and Ben Stokes having a big smile, not thinking, he never expected that he would step out. So, and this is what Test cricket is all about in this past kind of few years, which has changed the atmosphere. That's why crowd is coming in to watch all the Test games because they could see such shots coming into play all the time. So as you said, I think IPL is not stopped; it has been continued. Yes, the ball from the white has become red, and yes, the way these guys are batted, I hats off. The foundation what was laid by the openers, 90-odd partnership. Then from there, Yashasvi took charge as a senior pro. Then Shubham Gill, the vice captain. This happens when nerves gets in. Yes, we are, Sai Sudarshan losing out that opportunity of getting his first test runs on the board. It happens, but I think it is the future of the Indian cricket.
Well, absolutely the future of Indian cricket. But when you look at the scores, let me look at the question here. India had 350 plus scores on day one. How important when a top order actually scores 350 plus scores and you only lose 3 wickets, and especially in England, when you lose a toss, go there, and the gap between the IPL final and this isn't too much, So I think everything went for India, but especially 50 plus score on day one with 3 batters. Do you think that was the best thing that could have happened for India? Noel David.
Of course. See, this is what we always look for. A solid start to a solid finish. And 350 ending the day, just losing 3 wickets, gives you an edge, always to get a big total ahead when you come back the next day. Because the confidence is there, that, you know that, you have 7 wickets to go, you can get around another 200 from here, will be a plus point for the Indian team because that gives you, the bowlers a good chance to run and bowl at what speed they want to because they will never look back. Whenever a team you get a big total, it gives you confidence. It boosts the side up, They sit and and they start thinking the next day what you want to do. I think it's a great start. 350. I think from here India will be looking up to put another 200. Anything 550 will put England into the edge of the table because they have to bat on these conditions.
Well, Noel, thank you. That was a very exhaustive. I think you created the entire show into saying that India has to look at 550. I'll get in Toss Rizvi, 550 we're looking at, but at the same time, look at Shubman Gill, who's got now 15 international centuries before the age of 26. Yes, do you see him reaching the elite company of Tendulkar, Kohli in the long run? But right now, do you think he's the man in command and ably supported by Rishabh Pant, who you see on the screen? Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant, your views. Toss Rizvi.
No, exactly. Yeah. No, see, Shubman Gill, the way he batted yesterday, the way he took on the baton from Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, I mean, it wasn't so difficult. I mean, he was like how fish takes to the water, exactly what Shubman Gill was yesterday. I mean, especially there was very little gap between IPL finals and this particular test series. I mean, I was surprised because whatever we saw in Australia, I mean, the way we were struggling, the way we were found wanting again bouncy wickets, we were expecting the same the struggle in swinging conditions. But these guys have showed a lot of patience. These guys have showed a lot of instinct and the intent, which is looking beautiful. I mean, yeah, he's taken the baton and he's very happy to take on I believe in the future he could be in the elite company. Why not? I mean, the way he's batting, the way he's confidently has his head on his shoulders, he can be a dangerous customer in the future. But I still wouldn't come to conclusion. It's a five-match test series, right? It's a long tour, and it's just the first day, and I hope it continues. I hope the 30-degree temperature that everybody is worried about stays the same, because it's England. You never know it when the cloud comes in, and then it starts creating problems for the batters. This is a good moment. Again, I hope it remains the same. And yeah, 550. Again, I agree with Noel by 550. Anything less than 400 is going to be very, very easy for England. I mean, of course, they are batting at home. They know the
But Toss,
conditions.
let me
But then,
let
yeah,
me interrupt you here. It's a good way to look at it, saying 450, 500. But at the same time, let's reflect on what happened yesterday in a test match in England, scoring at 4.2 runs and over on day one of the first day of the test match. Did you remind, I mean, Noel David, were you reminded of the 1986 Kapil Dev's onslaught of Eddie Hemmings, just belting everything out? Or was it like Graham Gooch doing whatever to us in the late 80s? Your views, Noel
Of course,
David.
I still remember the way Kapil Paji, I think we were trying to save the follow-on, if I'm,
Yes.
just correct me if I'm wrong,
Four
we were
sixes in
trying
a
to save
row.
the follow-on where Kapil Paji knew that if he doesn't strike now, it'll be too late. And then we'll fall on, maybe there's a chance to lose the test match. But hats off the way he took charge, the way he started to hammer, the off-spin ID Hemmings for 6 consecutive sixes. From there, he just kept went through the shots and the innings. And the same way yesterday, we could see what was happening. Yes, they were bowling at tandem. The Kase and everyone, Vokes, and then later part of the inning, if you see the ball was doing something reverse. All this bearing, we coped up to the conditions, and the batsmen never let them self down. They went after they got the opportunity. They scored that runs, and this is what the Indian team is right at present. We this is the new Indian team. The new chapter started from yesterday. What I see, I'm getting goosebumps when I talk about these lads, because it's a new era for this side. Under the coach of Gautam Gambhir. I hope they continue, as we said, continue the good work, and we will see the future of Indian cricket to go. If you have seen Ben Stokes tweeting something, he said we whether we know there's no Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma, but the talent what India produces, I think no country can produce that talent. We have the bench strength to overcome anything, and
Noel
that is
David,
what we are made of.
Noel David, I'm going to shift on the focus to Tos Rizvi, who's watched one talent grow from a teenager to the mighty successor. Yashasvi Jaiswal has now scored overseas centuries in West Indies, Australia, England, before turning 24. And this is in all formats of the game. I mean, when you look at the greats of the great, I mean, this man certainly, this boy who's turned 24 has come a long way. Tos Rizvi, what are your memories of this boy who you first spotted at Maidans? When was it? A decade ago, and how the journey has been? And we also remember that run out. Of course, we're going to talk to Jwala Singh, Yashasvi Jaiswal's coach. But remember the run out between Sarfraz Khan and him, and he says, "Itni dur ye out hone ke liye nahi aaya hu main." So he dived the full length. Remember the mic conversation. So just take us through Yashasvi Jaiswal, the special talent that it is. Your views.
and this journey is very, very special. I mean, look at Yashasvi coming from a small town called Badui in Uttar Pradesh. I mean, there are no facilities, there are no academies. He's come here with big dreams in his eyes to play for Mumbai and then for India. I mean, it's been faster. I mean, just it's like how time flies. I mean, it's just like that. And the way he's taken up, he's being talked about as the next big thing. I mean, he's already started making those strides in a big way. But again, memories, I would say there have been fantastic memories. I've had a lot of chat with him. I've had a lot of chat with this youngster who's very hungry, who has been very hungry. He's worked in dairies, he's been living in tents, he's struggled on difficult, played confidently on difficult wickets of Azad Maidan where the ball doesn't bounce, where the ball, I
Your
mean, there is, it's
Toss,
not
Toss,
easy to
take us
bat
through
on.
your personal conversations with him in the last 5 years, 7 years that you've seen him. Any anecdote that you remember that made him so big, and you could see it and spot it then?
Yeah, I remember I had met him. In fact, recently there was after before the Australia series, after the Australia series, during the Ranji Trophy game for Mumbai against Jammu and Kashmir. This guy was, he did not, he was not very happy with his performance, obviously, but then he was keen on doing something big. So it's his confidence that makes him special. And also, I've been meeting him over the long time. I mean, that confidence that makes him very special. I mean, the way he talks. I remember when I met him first. This youngster was very sad, but then he did not let his confidence down. He knew that he was doing something big. So some way or the other, he's come out with this. Also, after that first IPL selection, he said, "My duty is to score runs, get runs, play for India, not think about buying a BMW." When I asked him when he was bought for those crores by Rajasthan Royals for the first time, he said, "I'm not interested in BMWs, Mercedes, or whatever cars or
Has he
material.
patched
My
up with his
only
old
focus is
coach? I
cricket,
mean,
and
you
that
know
is
the
what I'm going
story.
to
Has
do."
he patched up with his old coach, Jwala Singh?
Yeah, must be. I mean, you will only get to speak to him. He can only reveal exactly what. But the way these guys have gone through, I mean, he's been a superb mentor for Yashasvi Jaiswal, Jwala Singh. We have played recently. I was there for his one of the tournament's inauguration, and we played a match over there. Jwala is upbeat about his this prodigy youngster. The way, I mean, I want to know exactly, and I've been obviously talking to him a lot. I want to know exactly what was the thing that saw him special in Yashasvi Jaiswal, and that is what I'm keen to know. But yeah, he's been telling that he was always special. It was his confidence, it was his ability to face any difficult conditions, and that is what makes him special.
Well, now we shift our focus from the top order batters to a little known subject of the wicket keeping, of course. Rishabh Pant is now the highest run scorer among Asian wicket keepers in the Sena. He scored the fastest Indian to score 3,000 runs. Now, Noel David, you remember there was a time when we had two specialist wicket keepers, Chandrakant Pandit, Kiran More, and also Vijay Dhaya and Sabah Karim were lurking around them at that point of time. Do you think it's a good thing to have a wounded wicket keeper like Rishabh Pant? Remember, he did not have a great series in the previous, and he wasn't getting any favors. So, do you think it's nice to be wounded, especially for Rishabh Pant?
Well, it is the trust, Sunil. They had trust and faith in Rishabh Pant. That's more important. They knew the way he struggled in Australia in BGT. He was left. He was not playing in most of the home series. He was sidelined, but he kept. But the selectors had the faith and the confidence. This guy can uh, do a lot of things for the Indian cricket. That's why they named him as the vice captain. The last 100 in the IPL, I think that was the breaking of his, the form what he was going through. I think what I feel about this guy, he has the guts, he has the will, he has the determination to produce something from nowhere, and that's what Rishabh Pant is made of. He doesn't mind playing his shots. He doesn't mind what people talk about him. There were lots spoken about him during the BGT. He never uttered a single word, never commented. He went on with his work. He played IPL, he done everything. The moment he got this opportunity yesterday, he grabbed it. He knew this is my stage. I will prove it. And he's proving it. I'm just waiting for that big knock, and then you see his reaction. It will be a
Thus,
total different reaction when he gets it 100.
very important point he made that despite the lack of runs, people still had that focus and the faith in him. Thus, one question: what happens when the journalists and the media commentators and people with blue tick marks troll a player who's going through the bad thing? Either they have the opportunity of shutting them out or replying back. In one of the cases, Rishabh Pant actually made it a point to hit back at the journalist or one of the YouTubers. Do you think it's fair to just troll a player or just criticize in the blog and then leave it rather than tagging? Because Rishabh Pant of late has gone through a lot of, such kind of uh, criticism. Your views?
No, cricket is not an easy job. It's followed everywhere, as we all know. I mean, it's a religion in India. Every This social media thing has given everybody a tool to keep saying whatever they want, and that is how it is. Unfortunately, the players have to face. I mean, I had a chat with Shardul Thakur. Yeah, he's fine. He said he's fine with criticism. He's fine with anything, but not when people get personal. So I don't think people cricketers will get very disappointed if they criticize them in a constructive manner. But if they get personal, and it becomes difficult for them. So some way or the other, they don't read, they don't get into much uh, from whatever I got my conversation with Shardul Thakur. But when it comes to Rishabh Pant, definitely, I mean, he's given answers. But at the end, I mean, you have to keep scoring. When you play for India, you have to be accountable. You have to be, come out with answers. Yeah, because there are a lot of people waiting in the wings. There are a lot of, it's a 140 crore population. Everybody wants to play for India at the end of the day. So some way or the other, if it's a long patch, and people will start questioning it. There is no doubt about the talent, but then it's about the people who are waiting in the wings right now. So some way or
Well,
the other, you'll have to face criticism,
Well,
and that is
Tos,
how it is.
very nicely put. Let me shift our focus onto the England batting now. They'll be coming back and playing. Of course, England's strength lies in Joe Root's consistency. Again, this question is for Noel David. Brooks' explosive starts and Jamie Smith's potential. When you look at all these three, you look at a very confident English side. But what if your Joe Root doesn't strike, he doesn't play the big inning? England seems to get into the shambles. Do you agree to this comment?
Of course, absolutely, because he will be the price tag wicket for the Indian bowlers. Because if Joe Root stays on and plays a long inning, he'll be at a thorn for the Indian bowlers. He will make the Indian bowlers, trawl a lot. He will make them run around. He will play with their. So it's very important that we get his wicket as early and put the pressure on the other batsmen, because the other batsmen will depend on Joe Root, because he's a senior player who is in tremendous form. He's getting a lot of runs there. So the management also will be looking into Joe Root, getting, continuing that form. So it is very important that we get him early, put the pressure, and then the rest will automatically will speak about it, because he is the guy what Indian must bowlers must have spoken in the dressing room, in the meeting. It is Joe Root everywhere for us.
Joe Root is the man for them. Again, now let's shift our focus to something absolutely different. Yes, we've got a league of legends coming up, and of course, Cricket Predictor is proudly associated with the Team West Indies and the legendary T20 players. Who do we have? We have Chris Gale, we have Pollard, we have Bravo, Chanderpaul, who's coaching as well as playing at the same time. We have Rampal, we have Bishu, everybody coming together for this wonderful league. But at the same time, the West Indian champions will be joining us throughout the program and will be giving us an exclusive peek inside the team dressing room, inside the minds, and also what's happening at the league, which starts on the 18th of July and goes on till the 2nd of August. Of course, big names like Yuvraj Singh, Brett Lee, Ian Morgan, Kevin Peterson. Also, you have AB de Villiers playing this league in a round robin format of 6 teams for 18 days. But before that, let's look at one of the top guys from the WIC team, which is the West Indian champions. Of course, the team is owned by Indian Ajay Sethi. He makes another dash at his foray into the cricket ownership. Of course, let's look at what Dwayne Smith have to say about his entire journey with the WIC.
I like that question about where everyone is a veteran and how does the leadership work. I think it comes down to us as a person as well, and it just trust what you know. Um, yes, we still have a captain, and I'm sure that the guys will still respect whoever is captain for WCL. But I think all of us now have gone through the paces, we've gone through the years, and we should know what makes us be up for scoring, what gets us up or gets us going on the field and off the field. Then you can relax and enjoy yourself. I mean, it's nothing strenuous right now. The guys are all about having fun and being competitive.
Well, the team is called WIC, the West Indian champions, and also we had Dwayne Smith. Let's listen into his next question that he's certainly enjoying playing with his pals, going to the dugout after years of this thing. Let's have a listen into what he has to say about his experience there in the first this thing.
Oh, that's easy. I would have to say Sir Vivian Richards. I was always a fan of him, and he's a very good player. So there's no other choice but for him to be the one that I would have loved to bat with in a T20 game.
Well, we had Dwayne Smith from the WIC team talking about his ambition to play, or his retrospective. If he could choose one player he could play with, that was Vivian Richards, of course, everybody's favorite, from Sachin to Kapil to even Yashasvi Jaiswal, Virat Kohli. Everybody loves to have a bat with Sir Viv in their thoughts. Of course, that's all we had time for. Now we go on straight to our next show and thank our fans and, most importantly, our expert panels who keep on joining us for this wonderful show called Cricket Predictor, brought to you by 1xBat. Don't go anywhere else. We'll be back after a short commercial break. See you.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV और इंडिया न्यूज़ का मीडिया स्कूल। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से ITV नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त, मजबूत, जिससे आप बनेंगे पत्रकारिता की दुनिया का वो चमकता चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।
I'm Megha Sharma and I'm reporting from the locales of Kananasis, the tourist town that is located in Canadian Rockies in Alberta in Canada. Kananasis is the location where the G7 Leaders Summit is going to take place between June 15th and June 17th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been invited by Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, and he has graciously accepted that invite and will be arriving in Kananasis to attend this big